Hello, I'm Paula Kavathas. I'm a professor of laboratory medicine and immunobiology at Yale University. I've seen a lot of changes in the field. When I was a postdoc at a Keystone meeting, I remember going sequentially 2 years in a row, and I looked at the proportion of women speakers. It was very, very low, even though in the audience, almost half of the audience was women. I also noticed that the second year, 75% of the female speakers were the same, whereas for the males, it was 25%. So more men were having opportunities to speak than women, and this is something that bothered me. What's great today is I've seen a real effort to have a diverse proportion of people speaking at these meetings, and the AAI has a wonderful mix of speakers. I think we need to keep that up and make sure also that awards are being given to men and women in proportion to the numbers of women in the field. So that's, I think, a positive change. In terms of faculty, I'm still very concerned about this. Since I was a faculty member, I've seen the proportion of graduate students and postdocs, at least in our institution, being roughly 50-50, but in the faculty, we're still around 25%. And I was speaking to a postdoc yesterday. She's in a pathology department in a university. She's one of the 2 women out of the 30 in the department. So we still are not achieving gender equity, and so I think that's something we still need to work towards. The technology that has most impacted the field, I would say there's actually more than one technology, really. Certainly the development of the flow cytometer. I had the wonderful opportunity to train with Len and Lee Herzenberg in their laboratory. And so early on, I had the chance to use this technology, and it has really, I think, had as much impact as a microscope has to really allow us to do things we couldn't do before. And when I was in the lab, there was always this feeling like, what new technology is happening, and how can we potentially incorporate it into our work? So I think that's an important mindset, is to be aware and looking for new technologies and see how they might be able to impact your work. But actually there have been many other technologies in terms of imaging technologies, in terms of genomic analysis, RNA analysis, and so just be aware and think about how it could help your work. For young scientists, I would say try. Always try. Don't put barriers in front of yourself. When I was looking for a faculty position at that time, about 40 years ago, the feeling was that if you were going to be a woman and try and combine work and family, you couldn't go to an intensive research university. It wasn't possible. And I thought to myself, here I've been a postdoc and graduate student for 11 years. I'm doing great compared to any of my male colleagues, so why is it that they can and I can't? And so I said, I'm at least going to try. And so my advice is try. Secondly, social skills are important. We can benefit, we can learn from others, we can collaborate with them, and so communicate with people, network with people, share, ask for help, and that's another piece of advice I would give. And I guess my third piece of advice is just a general advice for people in general, is eat healthy, exercise, and spend some time with friends and family.